Yep, we here, y'all. That's right. We are here, new week. Ah, man, look who we got here today, y'all. We got my boy Rodney Beast One up in the building. Unfortunately, guys, I know you guys was waiting to see Lady T. Unfortunately, Lady T is out today. She's a little under the weather. So, guys, I want you to pray for her. Make sure she have a full recovery. And welcome to From the Battle to the Glory. Yes, it's been a lovely weekend, a lovely week so far. It's been good, and I hope everybody is doing well. And listen, before we get into our conversation, let's get more acquainted with Rodney, y'all. We ain't seen Rodney in a minute, man. Tell us, Rodney, what's been
Hey,
going on, bro? Tell us what's happening.
well, I got some good news for you. Next week, next Monday, we're going to start Dad Mentality podcast back up with some new live stuff. I definitely got things uh, that are in the pipeline to make sure that we have great conversations about mental health. We have great conversation about finances. We have great conversation about faith. We have great conversation about all these things so that we can as men and as people, we can come together and have a place where it's safe and, we don't have to deal with Chef Dennis bias and an opinion that he likes to throw on everybody. I'm going to go ahead and stand up for my girl, Lady T. She ain't here today. So, I'm going to represent her, you know what I'm so, and what Chef be always trying to hit me from the side angle to teach me something new. So I'm ready. I'm ready to go, and I'm excited about all the things that's coming. Oh, this weekend,
Talk to
I'm
me.
happy my son had his first flag football game, 2 touchdowns and an interception. Getting close to my daughter's graduation now, so I got a lot of great things going on. I'm blessed. I'm happy. I feel that right now I'm about a 10 doing my self care check in. It's a little bit low because Lady T ain't here now, so I have to guess I had to give it a 9. But it's still great. It's great to be here. Great to have a good time. And don't worry, Lady T, I'm gonna hold it down for you today.
Mm. Oh well, he said he gonna hold it down, y'all. He is going to hold it down. Okay, well then, since you're gonna hold it down, let's just start. Like Ronnie, birds of the same feather flock together. What was the first thing that came to your mind when I said that? Like, there's so many things how we can like just talk about this. But what's the first thing that come to your mind? Like, talk to me about it. Like,
Well, when I first thought about it, my first thought was like, yeah, that kind of does apply when you're young. I really feel like when you're young and you're trying to find yourself, you wrap yourself around people that have the same ideals that you either want to have or that you have in mind. So you kind of surround yourself with that, or sometimes actually your are the things that are shaping you. So typically you surround yourself when you're younger. Now as I get older, do I feel like birds of the feather flock together? I kind of still almost feel the same way because you're not gonna as I get older, like I hear all these stories. I started Dad Mentality because people were talking about dads weren't doing nothing. Dads aren't in the picture, this, that, and the other, men aren't this and men aren't that. And I was like, I don't know these people. Like these people you're talking about, I have no idea who they are. You know what I'm saying? Like the guys that I know take care of their family, take care of their kids. It don't matter if they're with the girl or not. The men that I know in this generation are standing up and trying to do change and trying to make things different in order at the forefront of a lot of these things. So I just kind of realized after talking to people that I just don't hang around those people. Those people that are talking about who are, not taking care of their family, those people who they're talking about who are uh, not stand up men, not stand up dads. I don't know those people because I don't hang with those people, and nor do I feel like I hang in the areas or places where you'll find people like that. So I guess does birds of a feather flock together still come as the same thing in my older age? I guess so. Because I'm not going to go to a place that I don't agree with the values or the things that are happening there. And B, who wants to have that in their life where it's a negative environment or negative things? Right now in my life, I'm searching for everything positive. That's the reason why I came on this show. That's the reason why I reached out to you, Chef Dennis. I wanted to be a part of something that is positive and great. So I guess I'm still surrounding myself with those type of people. I don't like people who don't have that same vibe or that same I typically just walk away from or don't want to be around, because that's not the vibe I'm going for. I want positivity in my life. I want positivity in your life. I'm going to speak positivity to you, so I want you to do the same to me. If you're not that type of person, then I don't got nothing to talk to you about. What are we going to talk about? So that's what I thought.
All right, so look, when I was getting to my thoughts together, and I was reading, looking at the topic, and I was like, look, there's a couple of scriptures I wanted to say, and look, this is what people like. Oh, I don't want to read the Bible. But look, the Bible is a map. It's something to help you along and help you navigate in this world, in this life. You know what I'm saying? And is the scripture is Proverbs 27:17. It says, first we're gonna say a little metaphor. Iron sharpens iron, right? Metaphor, mature growth and improvement through relationships and interaction suggests that people, carry the benefits of structure, and it challenges, and you get good feedback, right? And then there's another scripture. It's Hebrews 10:25, a similar of the saints, of believing, gathering together for worship, encouragement, and fellowship, rather than neglecting to do so. And see, and so I use birds of the same feather flock together, is because people don't understand. And somebody said equally yoked. Yes, this is exactly what we need to do to grow. You know what I'm saying? And people miss out on that opportunity because they feel like all churches are messed up. But it's not just the church, it's the gathering of men, the gathering of women, but in the positive light. You know what I'm saying? Not only in the positive light, it's encouraging. And it has to be some type of challenge. That's where your growth coming at. If no challenges in your life, it's no sign of growth. You know what I'm saying? So we definitely have to have some challenges in our life. If not challenges, we got to be able to encourage one another. How are we going to get through when we going through some rough times? And you have to be around the right people to be, like I was telling somebody on Sunday, being vulnerable. You can't be vulnerable to anybody. You have to be vulnerable to the right people, to the right group, because when you going through something, you got to share something that's private and personal. You got to make sure you sharing that with somebody that's you could trust. And that's what I'm always talking about. Loyalty is big. Listen, and it's hard to find loyal people, but that's what we talk about. Somebody put up evenly yoked. That's why it's important to have those people in your life. So when you're going through something, guess what? They'll be there to help you. They'll be able to lift you up, because we need that. God intended it for it to be like that. Even when we going through that, you being around the right people so you can be uplifted. I didn't say put you on a pedestal, uplifted, because guess what? You're going through a hard time. It's rough for you. Let's say your finance went down. Guess what? They're right there helping you. They're helping you navigate. All right, listen. All right, well, you lost your job, but let me see what I could do over here. Make some phone calls, see if I can do it. And what does that do? It encourages you. Like, yo, I appreciate it. Thanks, Rodney. Oh, thanks, brother. And it picks up your spirit. And that's why you want to be around the right people. You want to be around the right people that's going to uplift you and encourage you. You know what I'm saying? And look at the world we living in right now. Look,
I mean,
it's yeah.
If it just like, for instance, like I threw out a scenario, if I got locked up, you need to have the right person to be able to come and help you get out too, right? You just saying?
Yeah, but check this out though. Guess what? When you're doing the things that you're supposed to do, you don't have to worry about. You don't have to say those type of things. You don't have to say those type of things in you don't speak it into existence. So you don't say when you get locked up. No, guess what? You're doing the things that you're supposed to do. You're always
People
walk
get
in and
locked up
straighten
for
out.
doing the things that they're supposed to do too.
I mean that's because whatever's going on in their life, that's the will of God. So that's them. All right. Yes.
That is
He
true.
said, right, Chef, that is your will is either going to make you better or bring you down. That's it. Yeah, it definitely. That's what it's about. And for those who don't know, me and Ronnie are not only podcast friends, we personal friends, and we started on the podcast as friends. But then I met his family, and the reason why I'm saying that is because guess what? When I met his family and met him, they knew the type of person I was. It's not no funny business. I'm genuine. I'm real. Like I'm gonna talk to them like I would talk to my mother and father, because guess what? Those are the type of people I want around me. And I always want to be inspiration. I always want to be uplifting, encouraging. I'm big on smiles. I'm big on hugging. It don't make a difference because guess what? It shows that I'm genuine. Some people be like, oh, I don't need a hug. Okay, that's cool. But it shows the real love that I have for you as the individual, not this fake smile and be like, oh yeah, that's my boy. Nah, I hug my boys. Yeah, I'm not even on that type of time. I hug him because that's what I say. I love him. I love him. You know what I'm saying? Ronnie is one of those brothers I love. It's like he crying, I'm crying. See, most men can't get to that point because they don't understand that. If he crying, I'm crying with him because you know what? His hurt is my hurt. His pain is my pain. And so I don't want him to live in that pain. I want him to be uplifted. I want him to get through it. So how do we get through it? We talking. We doing stuff together. We might even travel together. We doing something to ease his pain, keep his mind off that negative energy. So that's the life that I move. That's how I move. And this is words of encouragement so other people can understand that like this is how you got to move. You in a rough time, you in a rough space. Hey, listen, find the right people, find the right community that's going to uplift you, that's going to bring it. And Ronnie always be laughing, but I'm sorry, church is the place. Because guess what? If you,
I agree with that.
No, I know. I'm saying, because I'll be talking about
you was the
woman.
one telling me that you can't find no woman in the church, but I guess you can find the best friend according to what you're about to say. But go ahead, I'm listening.
I mean that's because guess what? If you out in the world and you ain't found the right friends in the world, and you have a better chance of finding a better friend and a more stable friend in church. But guess what? You can find a messed up person in church too. They live in a lie. It's just like a person outside that don't even go to church. They live in a lie. And so, okay, which one would you rather have? To find out a person that's in church living a lie versus a person that's already telling you right from the start, look, I'm living a lie. This is what I'm doing. You got no choice. What choice would you rather have? What would you rather have, Rodney?
Nah, I mean, hey, coach always says to me, if you the smartest person in your group, you're in the wrong group. And if you think about that, it's true because you're not going to grow. If you're the smartest person in this group, then you're not going to grow. You're not going to, increase your own knowledge. You know what I'm saying? And it's the same thing to me with everything. If I'm the richest person in the group, I'm still in the wrong group.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? Now, it's a difference between in your group and who you deal with on day-to-day basis. Like part of me, I believe in that, I exude this how I am every day. I'm gonna love you every day. I'm not gonna change on you. It's not a difference. And to me, that's the best thing that I can do as a Christian is to show everybody that I run into that, I'm going to love you. So it's all good. No matter what you do to me, you're still going to get the same love from me. You know what I'm saying? There's nothing you can do. And it's very hard to do, to be honest with you, because people will try you. People will try to push you. If you tell somebody, that you're going to do something, the first thing they want to do is test it. And I don't understand that. And that can even be as close as in your family or in your marriage. You know what I'm saying? Like like even when I got married, and my wife does know me, she loves me, this, that, and other. But when I told her I was going to stop drinking, I felt like she was there waiting to see. Like, waiting to see what was going to happen and see if I was actually going to do what was said. Go ahead. You want to read the comment from Cash Honey? She been killing the comments too.
I know, right?
I mean, she been on point. So I
no
heard.
doubt.
I understand.
I understand Rodney's perspective too. Nobody is perfect. Some people may need a positive person in their corner when he or she is down. Help uplift a person. Yep, that's it.
There you go. Sometimes you don't need to know the reason. Just help them out. You know what I'm saying? Because everybody makes mistakes. But I don't know if you know this, Cash Honey. In a previous conversation, Chef Dennis said he would not help me out of jail. That he would leave me in the rot because I probably deserve
hold
in there. That's what I heard out of the conversation. So
hey, don't put no words in my mouth.
We can play it back. We can play it back.
Don't put no words in my mouth. I told you I would have to ask God if that's what he want me to do. That's it. I ain't say I'm gonna leave you in the rot. God might say, yes, I think you should go down there and help him. I gotta get. Hey, listen.
Hey, by then, I could be charged for something I ain't do, but it's all good. We're gonna let that go. I'm gonna move on because you said don't speak that stuff into existence.
There you go.
But I also feel that iron sharpens iron, which was another thing that you brought up. You know what I'm saying? I feel that's definitely one of the reasons why I have a friendship with you is because. I know that in some things, and I'm not going to speak it and say it's a lot of things, that we have two different ideas on how you should do things. But some things we do. And just because we don't have to agree with each other to respect the other person's opinion. You know what I'm saying? Like, I understand what you're saying, but yeah, I want to mess with you a little and we'll have the conversation. But I still feel that maybe it wasn't 100% what I'm saying, but you took 20% out of it. You know what I'm saying? And I'd like to, and I do that with you. I do that with a lot of people that I meet from day to day that are in my team. I may not take everything they say or do everything the way that they say to do it, but I can take the 20%. I can take the good out of it. I can take the things that I do feel like it applies to my life and do something about that. So that's just something I feel.
I want to make a confession.
Oh shit. I'm sorry. Okay. All right.
Listen, I was, I'm always about trying to be a better person, fix things, try to correct things. I'm getting older. I was talking to my cousin, right? And you know what he said to me? He said, yo, out of all the times I invited you, first, let me say this. I said to him, I was like, yo, what's up, man? Like, I thought we was brothers. Like, we / first cousins, but we grew up together. Like, we did everything. Played basketball. I got into fights. He was always there. You know what I'm saying? And, we traveled together. We were the family reunions together. So it's like it's like a brotherhood / cousin type thing, right? First cousin. His father was my father's brother, right? So I told him, I said, yo, what's up? What's up with our brotherhood, whatever? So we start talking and whatever. And he said something to me. And it really I was shocked, and it shows how I wasn't aware of the things that was being done, and I didn't take it like too serious. And so he always invited me to his house. And out of all the times, I never invited him to my house. Never. And I was like, dang, that's messed up. Like that's real messed up. And like I love him, you know what I mean? But it to hear that come from him, you know what I mean, it shows me that I really gotta pay attention to how I do and say things to people that I feel like they're close to me. And that really touched me. It's like that. I really seriously really had to look in the mirror and say, you got to do better. You know what I'm saying? You got to change that, because people like him, there may be times where he may need me, and guess what? He may feel like, nah, you know what? He never did X, Y, and Z. And I suppose that I did that. That's my responsibility, to pay attention to the relationship. I didn't do that. You know what I'm saying? And so I'm saying that because that's messed up. And you know, it really bothered me, but I'm saying it to you because we having a conversation. But that's what happens. We talk about iron sharpen iron, and he's somebody that played a big part in my life too. You know what I mean? And he always was, yo, if I'm wrong, he gonna tell me, he gonna correct me, he gonna be like, yo, nah, well, did you say it that way? Like when I was married, my first marriage, he always tell me, well, yo, that's not how you supposed to do things towards your wife. That's not how you supposed to talk to her. You know what I'm saying? And or I had a dispute with one of my female cousins. He's like, yo, how can you win that soul over if that's how you carrying yourself? So, you know, and I was like, this was, I wasn't where I am at now, but you know, he said that to me, and I was like, that it always resonated with me. It has always been in the back of my mind. So that's why I'm real skeptical about that saying. Now I won't say skeptical. I'm always mindful of the things I say and how I say it to people when I'm outside in the world, because you know they'll come back and they use it against me. So I'm always mindful of how I talk. So you know, and I just wanted to share that with you because you know this is over the weekend.
Yeah,
and,
I'm not mindful at all.
Huh?
I said I'm not mindful at all.
But you got to, because hey,
I hear you. I hear you.
The reason why is because guess what? The person you don't expect to look up to you, and see. So your character, they're looking for the right role model. They're looking for the character of them to be a man, the best version of a man. So when they look up to you, you'll never know. They be like, well, you know, I always looked up to Rodney. He was this, because your character, the way you carry yourself, your mannerism, you know, your posture, all of that. They trust me, man. Trust me.
I got you. You know how crazy it is to the one day I realized that everybody does not think like you. Like the day that you realize that other people have emotions, like things that don't bother you can actually bother someone else. It took me a long time to realize that, because I always thought people were just tripping. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't understand why you're upset about that. I would never be upset about that. You know what I'm saying? But then I have that type of personality where I don't take anything to heart. You know what I'm saying? Like your opinion to me is exactly what it is. It's your opinion. If you give me your opinion, then in my mind, like you got to say something that actually is 100% on target that would mess me up. Like if you off a little bit, then I'm barely listening to anything you're saying. You know what I'm saying? But even if your opinion is about something that you're upset about, this, that, and the other, and it was really, really tough for me to start realizing that. You know what I'm saying? The first place I really had to do that was even in my marriage, because I'm like, what I'm saying to you makes 100% sense. So I don't understand why you don't get it. You know what I'm saying? And if you don't get it, then that's your fault. And then, you know, then I'm like, I'm over it and I'm done with the conversation. But it took me a long time in my marriage to even realize that, my wife does not think like me. My wife doesn't have that process, just like the things that she worries about and takes care of don't even catch my radar half the time. Because you know, and it took me a lot to learn that in a lot of different people. And then once I started learning that, then I started having compassion. Like I really feel like I didn't have compassion for anyone, you know, in my young days, you know. And I don't know if it had to do with because my father passed away and I felt like nobody felt for me. So then why should I feel for other people? And I mean, it's something that I've been working through now, that definitely people who are in my group like Vance and even you know, in the short time that we have been together, but Coach who's on my show and even Matty Ice, like we have these conversations all the time about, you know, how somebody can respond to what you're saying and you cannot even understand that you said something that was bad. You know what I'm saying? Because you don't know what's going on in their life. So
and you know, just to reiterate what you said, look, I want to say that it took me about a couple of years to realize that too. And I think mine's came more so, and not to say anything like bad about you, mine's came more with, you know, God softening my heart. And because when I was at my job, right, they used to tease this guy and talk about him all the time. And then one day I came to work and I was like, yo, I'm not gonna do that no more. You know, because I don't know. He a grown man, grown man. You feel me? But guess what? What I'm saying could be very much hurtful to him, and I don't know that. And I was like, you know what? That was it. And you know what it was? It's so simple, yo. It's so simple. It was talking about him open up his shirt, his hair coming out his thing. We used to joke about it all the time. Rico Suave. And you know what? At the end of the day, I might have said it and it might have hurt his feelings. No matter how it may seem, but it could hurt his feelings. And I was like, you know what? That was it. That was it for me. So now I'll be like, I say, hey, what's up, bro? You know, and no joking. I don't joke like that because you know what? I never know how it affects a person, like you said. And I don't do that no more. Like if it ain't somebody real,
do it.
Nah, but
my best, but I still.
But Ronnie, you know that can make a difference in a person. Even if they have low self-esteem, they may never tell you that they got low self-esteem. They be like, you know, my man always tell me I got a crooked eye, and yo, every day repetitively, you saying, man, get your crooked eye here, yo, and do something to a person, and and they never gonna tell you. They just like, man. Yeah, I got crooked eye anyway, and now their self-esteem is down, and so I don't want to be that person. You know what I'm saying? I'm a jokester. Don't get me wrong, I'm a jokester. I got jokes, but I think it's to the right people. You know what I'm saying? It goes back to what we talking about, just being around a certain group of people that you can do that to. But you wanted to chime in. Hold on, I want to say something to you though. I remember you saying something about not a lot of men in church, right?
No, you said there was not a lot of men in church.
It's not.
Okay, go ahead.
Now, 2 weeks ago, about 3 weeks ago, I was at the King's Movement, right? When I was down in DC. Let me tell you something. There was a lot of men there, right? But if it was a woman's function, that whole thing would have been full. It was a lot of men. For it to be men, I'm trying to tell you, Rodney. But if you don't believe that, right? That's why.
No, I believe it. I'm not saying that I don't believe it, but I just don't believe that there's more. There's this because when you say that to me, that means you're saying that the church is filled with more than 70% women and only 30% men. That means to me. Now, if you're talking 52-49, then okay, I agree with you. But if you're trying to make it like there's triple the amount of women than there are men, then I'm not. Then no, I don't agree with you.
All right, so Rodney, you do know there's more women in the world than men.
Thank you, Desmond. By 1%.
1% of what?
1% is 50. Is 49-51. That's the percentage.
Boy, you must be bugging. There's more women in
for every man. Hold up,
maybe
in Atlanta.
Hey yo,
you go to places like India. There's nothing but men. In China, they were killing the women.
Yo,
what do you want me to say? Come on, man.
You go out and for every man, it's like 10 women to one man.
No, that's in Atlanta. That ain't.
I don't live in Atlanta. I never been to Atlanta.
Nah, man. You go to India. They ain't got women. You know what I'm saying? You go to China, they kill women.
Man,
Africa did the same thing. Africa killed women too. Like, yo, what are you talking about? There's plenty of other nations besides the United States. Yeah, maybe in Atlanta there's more women. Maybe at your church there might be more women. You might be in Upper Marlboro or something. That's where they're going to look in our area. That's with Upper Marlboro. It's like the upper.
I know.
But anyway. You in Jersey, you going to where the women are in Jersey, probably. I don't know, but I mean that still doesn't mean that there are more women than men on this earth. Globally, there's slightly more men. See, there you go. Desmond going to fix it up. Thank you, sir. Appreciate that.
Look, he said 101.
Yeah, so I told you it was 1%. I knew it was 1%.
That is incorrect.
All right, we're gonna keep it moving. All right? I'm not gonna argue with the thing. You still stay in church, man. There's a ton of men in my church, man. I'm gonna take a picture of our men's group for you, man.
Yeah, take a picture.
Ton of men.
But my thing is this: it's not about just being less men. It's about the empowerment. is how we don't have those type of role models.
And then the second thing is a lot of the men are in the background of the church, because it ain't a lot of the men are part of the church functioning of the church. You know what I'm saying? Like the janitorial staff, the engineers, the sound guys, the guys, whoever is the the people in the background. So you might have 30 men back there that you don't see in the church. You just see their wives and their children because they're out there, but those guys are in the background.
That's what you think?
Yes.
Well, I know I do a little more traveling than you do when it comes down to that. And I don't see, I'll be like, oh my goodness, wait a minute.
And then that's the other thing. You looking at the women. I ain't gonna say nothing. I know that's that's something you that sounds like something you struggle with, man. Maybe you just only see the women. You know what I'm saying? Like that's the only thing that catches your eye when you're in there. There ain't nothing wrong with that.
How much talk to
ain't
the
nothing
other,
wrong with that.
Hold up, I'm talking to, I want to talk to other men. Hello, brother. I want to be encouraged by other brothers. But like, what happened? What you talking about? See?
I don't know, man. All right. I ain't gonna argue with you about it no more. Desmond said move on, man. He said there's more men than women.
Look,
your statistics funny. Are off.
He said, hold up, let me say, it says some countries, particularly Eastern Europe, and to have a portion of women. You said? Time you try.
All right.
Hey, yo, look at this dude, man. You see this dude?
Dude. That's what see. Desmond calling cap on everything. It's all good. I watched the show earlier today too.
Oh, you saw it?
Yeah, I watched it after though because I was working at the time. But it's all good. I watched.
I had to catch some of it later, a little bit of it earlier.
Let's go back to Birds of a Feather Flock Together.
Yeah.
So you don't have to. Go ahead.
Yeah, but the most important part is that we get back to the topic. Yeah, that's what we want. You want to be like that. That's the encouragement. You gotta like business wise, same thing. Like how can you have a conversation with somebody in business that's not even on a level that you're at? You know what I mean? So you gotta. That's why it's like-minded. Thinking like that. You got to have the balance of of the relationship has to be evenly. You can't be you look. Let's say like me and you, like we could talk about restaurants, cooking, we in the same field. But if I was a nurse and you a chef, I like what we gonna talk about? What can we talk about other than sports? If I don't like sports, now what other business are we gonna talk about? Like how we gonna collabo on business when we don't have the same outlook on business? That's the mindset you have to be in when it says birds of the feather. And as we talk about this though, Ronnie, watch this. It's so simple. This is something small though. Look, I was telling before on the podcast, pigeons don't hang with eagles. Doves don't hang with pigeons. Woodpeckers don't hang with hawks. They only hang with, habitat is in the same bird. That's it. They don't hang with nothing else. They can't because their habitat is different. And the same thing with humans. Our culture is different. If our upbringing is different, if it's not the same, how can we even begin to think like one another? Because we were raised differently. So now our mindsets are different. Our whole, alignment is totally different. Like it's beliefs. You was raised in Muslim, I'm a Christian. So now guess what? Can we be friends? Yeah, but then when we start getting older and we start elevating, how are we gonna elevate one another? Because now we got a different faith. Doesn't mean that we can't be friends, but I'm talking about elevating each other. How are we gonna do that when I believe something totally than you? How we doing? Right?
Yeah, well, I mean, I think the biggest problem with your analogy is the reason they don't hang together because one eats the other. So I mean,
What?
that'll probably be the reason why they don't
What?
hang together.
Hey,
A hawk will eat a pigeon. You know what I'm saying? So I wouldn't hang out with him either. But
no.
I get that. I get your analogy. But I'm just
Hey,
saying.
Hawks don't even go. Look, no. Hawks don't even go where pigeons be.
Yeah, that's true.
They
I got you.
and watch this. No, they don't eat pigeons.
They would eat
No.
one. Man, hawks would eat one.
No,
They
you.
kill it at
I'm
least.
keeping it 100. No, Roddy. No. The only reason
Man, I
reason
see
why.
the hawk pick up a chihuahua. You think
No,
they gonna
listen,
kill it?
no, Ronnie. The only reason why a hawk would eat a pigeon because of their habitat. They won't even the pigeon don't. They won't even go where the hawks be at. You feel me?
Yeah.
That's the only reason. You know what I mean? Same thing on a dove. A dove ain't gonna be around no hawk. A hawk is looking for a squirrel or a rodent somewhere down there flying. Oh, man, come on, man. I know you know that, bro.
I know that, but I'm just saying they still would kill each other. That'd be the reason why they don't hang with each other, in my opinion. But I mean, but to go back to what you were saying, I do understand what you're saying. But even as you grow in life, like some of your friends, the same thing you were into as you were in high school, those friends are not going to be the same friends as you are in college. And then when you grow up in your professional life and this, that, and other, yeah, you may have a core set that have been your friends since you were childhood. But as you grow, your ideals change. That person y'all might grow apart. You know what I'm saying? They may only be there for a season. I know that all of us have run into people in our lifetime that were only meant to be there for a season and was realistically only there for a season. So, as you grow, your group of friends and people change. So, I mean,
That,
it's just something, just something, to think about. And not like I said, and as if you're if you're the smart one or you're the richest one or this, that, and the other, you need to get a new group. You know what I'm saying? You need to find the new people that's going to sharpen you, bring you better, teach you new things, and help you grow. Or else I don't feel like you'll be able to grow if you're not doing that. You stay in the same place.
Yeah, that's what it is. You stand like you said, but you stand in the same place. There's no growth in that. There's no growth, huh?
Yeah, that's what I said. Absolutely. Yeah, you can't grow. To me, if like I said, if you're always the smartest, you're always the richest, you're always the this. And when I say rich, I don't mean money. You know what I'm saying? Rich in a lot of things, rich in family, rich in values, rich in, all these other things. So if you always at the top, then it's not gonna be no growth. I think like the young lady said earlier, they just like the people can lift you up, they can also be the people that tear you down.
Of course. That's why we always have to be mindful of the people we let in our family or let in our house. Man, it's so much deception out here. How do you figure out who's the right person for you to be in your circle? Let me ask you that.
I feel like that person would definitely show themselves. Like, my circle's been tight for a long time. And I've had people that I've kicked out of circles. I've been kicked out of circles. So, it's just that whole thing. You have your circle, but some people are only there for a purpose. You know what I'm saying? I had a friend that I thought we were very good friends. He was actually in my wedding and all this other kind of stuff. And one day he called me and asked me to borrow $375. I remember like it was yesterday. And I told him, I was like, yeah, I'll let you borrow the money, this, that, and other. And I gave him the money and I haven't seen him since. You know what I'm saying? I even called him and told him, I was like, hey, dog, the money don't mean nothing. Like, and then I eventually at that time went through something and I needed a friend and I called him. I even left a voice message telling him, you know what I'm saying? Still to this day, I've never got that call back, brother. And I have not got my $75 back either. But, it's just crazy how some people think and can let something like that happen in my opinion. But then I realized that he was only there for a season. He was only there for the purpose. And then at that time, that was the end of it.
So what was the lesson you learned from that?
Whenever I loan my friends money, I always tell them that I don't need the money. And I've actually told people that story, and I was like, "Look, dog, it will never be about the money with me." So I was like, "I value your friendship more than this money. So if you don't have it to pay me back, you ain't got to pay me back."
I need to borrow some money.
Yeah, well, I got you. If I really thought you needed to borrow the money, I would give it to you.
Ain't no Ronnie.
So,
No, I'm just kidding. Nah, but man,
oh, let me not say that. My cousin that I was telling you about might be watching the show. So, I will let you borrow the money as long as I know it won't be for drugs. How about that?
Oh man,
throw that in there.
Nah, but man, listen, that's the tricky part about that, man. Look, and that's why you gotta like, you really gotta know that person. And sometimes it's hard to know that person right up front because of deception, man. It's just crazy. It's just that's the reason why I asked you that, because
I got you, but you always say that, and then the problem for me is you don't know that person's heart at that moment. Like, deception, like, you could have made a mistake, which would give them that will give you the idea that I can't trust this person. But in that moment, he may be in that moment where he's actually really going to change. Like, he's really not doing it anymore or doing that anymore, and you're still judging him on that.
No, but you look, a person that like lies, you got to be able to know they lying before they even get to that point. You got to know that. Yeah, they a liar.
Yeah, but what do you do to a person that's a liar? You know what? I let them know they ain't got to lie. Like, to me,
right.
that's
the
biggest
lie.
thing. No. A lot of times you confront a liar about that, like stuff like that, and be like, "Yo, you don't gotta lie. Like, just tell me the truth. It's going to be a reason." You will get a different, especially A, you call them out on that lie, right. And B, you break it down to. I actually have broken it down to, like, why did you feel you needed to lie? What was the value in either or? Either way, you're still asking me for the money. So whether it's for this or whether it's for that, you know what I'm saying? Like, hey, you think I care? I don't care whether. So you ain't got to tell me. Look, I'll give the for real joint. It's my niece. So my niece wanted some money from me one time, and I knew she was getting ready to go out of town, but she told me she needed it for something else. And I told her, I was like, look, I know you're going out of town. I know you need this money for out of town. So you ain't got to lie to me. Like, it's no lie. Just tell me you want it for out of town, and I'm going to give it to you. Either way, the decision's going to be the same for me, because I'm going to give you the money. You know what I'm saying? You decided, whatever you decide to tell me is up to you. I said, but the one thing you always want to do is tell me the truth, because you want to be able to stand on that no matter what. And guess what? She stopped lying to me. She didn't lie no more. She told me exactly what she wanted the money for every time. And I still had the same decision. And I gave her the money. So she listening, she'll vouch for it. I always gave her the money.
Nah, yeah, well, lying, nah. You lying to me. Oh, hey, I'm gonna call you out on it. I'll say, yo, you gotta lie. Okay. If you got, I think if you lie, you can't be trusted. If you can't be trusted, whew, I don't know what to do.
But here's the thing. Some people, that's in your world. Some people grew up in a house full of liars. To them, they're just doing the normal. What is normal? You know what I'm saying? It's just like for me and alcohol. I grew up in a house where alcohol was normal, where every day you had a good day at work, you drank. You had a bad day at work, you drank. You came home and somebody was home, you drank. Everything was a celebration. Everything was a reason to drink. And that's how it was in my house. I thought the whole world was like that. Even when then you grow up, you go to parties. What we doing? We're drinking. We're going to have a good time. Somebody's sad. Let's drink. Somebody's happy. Let's drink. And you think that is something, but it's been put in your mind. You wake up in a house of liars where they just lie all the time. Where then lying has no value. Then you become a liar. just because you think that's normal. So you lie. You don't tell the truth about this. You watch your mom do it all the time and get away with it. You think different than what I would think about a liar, or you would think about a lie. So sometimes you got to take that into consideration too.
So how would you come with a solution to try to fix that or help?
I already
help?
told you. I would train.
Call
I
them.
would definitely train them, call them out, train them. Be like, you ain't got to lie to me. There's no judgment here. Like, that's the biggest thing that I had in my house. My mom was a no judgment mom. Anybody came to our house and told my mom anything. I had 5 sisters that until I became almost 16 years old, I thought they were my sisters. No, those were 5 women my mom took in because they were all in different situations. But I had no idea. I thought 2 of them were Indian, and I swore to God they were my sisters. You know what I'm saying? I had no idea. But that was where it was, and no judgment in my house is still here now, even with my kids.
Oh, you don't no judgment in your house?
I do no judgment in my house. Yeah. But it's not 100% all day practice. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's still consequences. But if you come to me and tell me the truth, then my first goal is figure out how we're going to work it out before I figure out how to punish you. You know what I'm saying? I want my house to I talk about sex freely in my house. Like I told y'all before, I've argued with my wife in front of my daughter because I wanted her to understand that just because me and your mom are arguing does not mean that we're breaking up or anything is happening. Babe, you want to join this conversation? Huh? You want to come in? Listen, you listening, right? Come on. You want to say something? My wife right here. She'll tell you.
Oh, bring it on in. Come on, tell us it. Come on in.
So we have these conversations openly with my daughter because I don't want her to feel she has to hide anything from me. Now, don't get me wrong, my daughter still hides stuff from me. But, if I confront her and we had a conversation, it's not a yell, fight out. We have a conversation about, and even if I tell her, you can't do this no more, this can't happen, this is what's going to go on. It still is a conversation. And that took a lot of training, a lot of work, a lot of hard times where I had to eat the statements that are being made to me. You know what I'm saying? Because you don't want your daughter to tell you stuff. And my daughter does tell me stuff. And sometimes I have to eat it because that's what I've raised her to do. I've raised her to feel comfortable enough to tell me something that I don't want to hear. And unfortunately, it kind of backfires because now she tells me everything I don't want to hear, and is non-caring about when she says it. She feels that we have that relationship, and to be honest, we do. You know what I'm saying? We do. My daughter, as long as she goes to school, gets good grade, does what she's supposed to do. Hey, I'm not one of those parents that's going to punish her for making a mistake. I want to teach her how to not make the mistake again. I want to teach her how to get through whatever it is that has happened. Like, there's been times that me and my wife, come on, baby. You might have to widen the screen to see it, but you can see me in here. But there's been times where we've had that conversation where we said we got to let her experience it, let her deal with it. So, yeah, my wife just heard everything I had to say. I don't know if you want to add it.
Hey.
Hi.
How you doing today?
I'm doing all right. How about yourself?
I'm good. Everything's well?
Everything is well.
Yeah, so Ronnie over here, tooting his own horn and everything. Talking about y'all arguing. I told him y'all had to argue. We could talk it out. There you go. See, I knew it was like that. I met you. I knew that's how it was. He talking about arguing. You was like, listen, listen, we gonna talk about this, okay?
I ain't arguing nothing.
That's what I'm talking about. I know that's real. See, I knew it was. See, he be telling us all this other stories. I know it. I'm like, wifey ain't like that. What?
That is cap. Go ahead.
I don't even know what cap means.
You know what cap means. You know
it's not no cap.
But
so no cap then.
I'm not arguing. I'm just waiting for you to agree with me. That's all.
Oh, I know that's real.
That is true.
Oh, so top the topic of today is birds of the same feather flock together. What do you think about that?
I think that's very true. I think that definitely people that you have in your circle, in your community, as people call it now, definitely flock together. People talk about, I got to find my person, I got to find my people. They're definitely flocking together. But again, um, if the people in your group are not encouraging you to be better and to do better, um, that is definitely a downside for community. But you want your community to help push you forward, and you want your community to definitely help you grow in aspects that you may not be proficient in. You can look around in your community and say, okay, this person's a lawyer, this person's, a business owner. I aspire to be X, Y, and Z. They have characteristics that I potentially want to incorporate into my life. And so asking them, like being completely 100, like, "Hey, I see how you worded that situation, or your mind was working when you were confronted with this X, Y, and Z. I would love to learn that." Talking to your community and learning from your community is extremely important.
Okay. So what would you tell people how to like to navigate of learning how to find the right people in their lives? Would it be personal, or would it be business wise, or would it be faith based? Which one would it be?
I would say faith-based because I think that you build on integrity, your characteristics of, having God at the top, the Lord being the number one. I would also say that people that love God, but also if they are focused on business, okay, this person is a business owner, then I need to tap into that. But the Lord is definitely number one. I think that faith is the basis of everything. You can't grow in other areas unless you get that foundation correct.
Yeah,
So,
that is so true. You got to have a lot. I think that's. I think a lot of people who grow up with friends and they start to serve God, and they're not living that life. I think they lose friends like that because now they look at you differently. They say, oh, now you changed, oh, now you think you're better than me. No, it's not about that. It's just that I
right,
have a different outlook in life. I have a different perspective. The perspective that I have is like, I want to live righteous, I want to live holy. And holy doesn't mean perfect. What I'm saying? It's
right,
just conscious of the things that you do, the things that you say, and how you carry yourself. You want to be a living example of how it is to live a clean and righteous life. And I think that's most people. Like, I've lost friends with that because of the way I started to live my life. And people's always, some of the people I used to hang out with, they always say, well, you have a drink here and there, you drink. I said, listen, but you never see me drunk. Yeah, I guess I gotta give that up because they use that against me. They be like, oh, you have. I said, listen, you don't see me acting a fool.
yeah,
And so I understand that because I'm a role model. I'm a person who people look up to, and I always carry myself in the image of where God want me to be. And so they always hold that over my head, but then I always go to the scripture. I say, well, that's not what it say in the Bible. But at the end of the day, I don't want to be going back and forth because I
right.
know
Hmm.
that's their way of saying, well, that's why I'm not doing this. That's not why I'm not there. But at the end of the day, that's just the way for them to escape the truth of
Yes,
the
I was
matter. That's
I was just about to say
that's it.
because they're not lining up, so they wanna put that guilt upon you
Yeah,
because their
that
life is not lining up.
and it's sad, but at the end of the day, we gotta always constantly pray. And I always
Absolutely.
want people to understand. Like, I always tell some of my new friends. I got new friends, of course, with y'all, not you guys. But I tell them living a righteous and holy life is not easy because
No,
the storms come, and when a storm comes, you got to be prepared for the storm. And
absolutely.
sometimes we're not prepared for the storm, and when you're not prepared, guess what? It takes like a shift in your life, you know what I mean? And then you got to go
Absolutely.
through the storm, and then you come out. And that's where the hard part comes at, because we all gonna have trials and tribulations. We all gonna have a storm that we're gonna have to go through, based on our
Yes.
choices that we based on the decisions that we make too in the trenches. And so that's where it changes. You know, that's why your
Mhm.
friendship changes, because
Yes.
when you got your eyes on a prize, and that's God, when that's that, and everything changes. There's a
Yes.
shift in your life. There's a
Yes, it
change in your
is.
life. You know what I'm saying? Your morals change.
Mhm.
Your ideas change. Everything,
Yeah.
especially when you want to do God's will for your life.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I feel like when you make that decision to commit yourself to God, those things you will automatically be confronted with those things, those challenges in your life because you said and you declared that you wanted to follow God. So those things are going to come immediately to test what you said, to test your faith, to test your word, to see if you're going to hold to what you said to God's standard. And you know, it's so important when you do make that change that we have to recognize that the things that we do, that we say, and how we respond to people have to always give glory to God. And what we do, what we say, how we behave, it has to give glory to God. Now, that's not to say that we're not human, but giving glory to God in our everyday existence is so important.
So, go ahead.
All right. I've been asking my wife to be a guest host on my show for years, and now look, see, she want to show her hosting skills with you. You know what I'm saying? I'm
Look,
tired of, as a husband with his own podcast. There's only so much I could watch going on between y'all before I say, hold up, wait a minute. Yeah. I was the guest. I was the star of this. I don't need my wife taking my shine.
Oh, why not? Yeah, that's right.
You can hang out, but I'm gonna answer the rest of these questions. Thank you very much. Oh, now you busy now to shine off you. You know.
Yo, I love them. I love them.
All right, we back.
Yeah.
All right.
Oh man.
Desmond over there laughing his ass.
Yeah, I know, right?
Oh.
But yo, man, listen, I told y'all, man, those are my new friends right there too. Listen, God has put the right people in my life for the right reasons. Always keep me in the right place. Always have accountability and everything. I'm saying no, Lady T, you
I wish she would come on there as a guest host with you on your show. It'd be it'd be smoke in this house. My wife. That's what we said, Lady T's replacement. I wish my wife would come on your show. Be like,
no, listen,
Jeff Dennis and Lady V. I wish she would.
Listen, hey, D, if that happened, listen, y'all gonna see it. He gonna blow a blood vessel. I'm telling y'all, because look, he already his father-in-law. He said, "Oh man, look, y'all don't even know half of it. Look, that's
my father-in-law so disrespectful. He know the name of my podcast and still said it wrong. What to say it wrong just to mess with me. I know he did it.
I love them, man. Look, but like I was saying, I was getting back, we always laugh and we joke about it, and I'm a living proof to that. Is that him and his wife, I got Santa and her husband, Judy and Norm. These are people God allowed to come in my life, not only through my wife, but just me meeting new people and just connecting with them on that level. It is definitely a pleasure to have them in my life. You know what I'm saying? It's definitely they just keep, like I said, hold accountability, the honesty, and the love that they give. And you want to be around people that's going to give you love. I think that's the most important. And that love that I receive and put back in the atmosphere, it's a blessing. And I want to grow more, but and it's hard because we all have things going on in our lives. But at the end of the day, my biggest thing, I want to get like us together in a group, and that's my focus, because it's good to have people. I tell all of them, I tell everybody, I said, look, I don't deal with people I can't trust. So if I'm vouching for somebody to come around their family, trust me, trust and know this: I'm one person. I'm just one person that you could trust. That I'm bringing people that's loyal and responsible, and you can trust. I don't do that. I would never want to do that.
But everybody, please be careful, because they might like him more than they like you. So you gotta be careful when you do that. You find that out at your friends or family or close in-laws
Oh Lord.
end up liking your friend that you brought around better than they like you. So there you go. That's all I got to say about that.
But now I'm gonna be listen. Well, I'm gonna be honest with you, Rodney. See, this is where true love coming in. Is there anything about you that you could change? All right. Just and don't take that the negative way. Don't take that the way. There is look there. I
just because I can change it don't mean I will.
Why won't you? It's for the greater good.
Hold on. You saying this?
Yeah.
You gonna say it to me? You gonna say it to me?
Yes.
That okay. All right. So
I made a confession already today.
You got some more confessions. We're gonna keep it. We don't want to turn this into an Usher. Nah, I'm messing with you, man. I'm good.
But this is what I love about this is because guess what? It's a conversation.
It's definitely. I'm changing every day. That's a goal of mine to change every day, at least 10% more. So, I'm trying to get there. I'm trying to be a better person. And of course, there's things that I could change now. Well, I'm not going to change everything, but it's definitely things that I am aiming to be better. But people make mistakes.
Rodney,
yes, sir.
Look, I was talking to someone, and they was like, they don't have like a lot of friends, and I said to them, I said, why is that? Is it you or is it them? Which one is it? Like, you understand what I'm saying? How you don't have friends? So which one is it? Is it you or is it the people that you choosing, or what? What do you think? What would you say? What would you say to that? Which one would it be? What would you think?
Well, I am the one thing I am is blessed with some great friends. I feel exceptionally blessed. We even had an episode about that I definitely, if you have one great friend, then you're doing good. And I have quite a few brothers that I would call that I could trust them and call for anything. So a person that does not have friends either don't want friends, or they're pushing people away. A lot of people push people away unintentionally just because they don't want friends, or they don't want to have that, that seclusion. So I don't know how you don't have friends.
Look at this.
What?
Look at this dude. Look at this dude. Look at this dude.
Oh.
Look at this dude. No, bro. Jesus Christ.
And if we what's bad about the conversation? I'm confused.
I don't know what he talking about.
All right, we keep it moving. We'll go back to
and
what did Desmond say about it? And that he brought himself in the conversation. What did he say about it?
No, he said.
No, I'm talking about when y'all talked about it together. What did he say about not having friends?
I don't know.
You don't remember? All right, go back to it. I'm sorry, sir. I apologize. I got I get easily distracted. Go ahead.
But the thing about this is that I use that friendship, right? And then some women, they wonder why they want a husband, right? And they don't have one. It's basically, what are you looking for? Are you looking for the right person? Are you looking for the man that's supposed? Me personally, I don't think a woman should be looking for a husband. That's number one. Mm-hmm. What do you think?
Well, when people come to me and they say that they can't find a husband, or the first thing I ask them is, are they acting like a wife? So, because if you're not living your life doing wifely things, then you're not going to find a husband. Because if you out there if you out in the club every night, you're not looking for a husband.
But they only got to be in the club. They could be. Look,
I'm saying you're not looking for a husband if you're in the club every night with a.
They could be in church.
Dude.
wanting a husband, and
Yeah. Okay.
it's
Well, then you have to portray. You have to act like a wife. If you want to be a wife, just like they say, dress and be what you want to be as a profession. You know what I'm saying? Like dress that way, go that way, get that mindset ahead of time before you get that job. So it's the same thing for a wife, in my opinion, or a husband. If you want to get married, you want to be a husband, then start acting like a husband. And you'll find a wife and you'll find a husband, dog. You didn't find your wife till you started acting like a husband and got yourself together, and she still made you wait. So I mean, you got to start acting like that. You can't. If you was out there, I guarantee that the Esther I know, if you was out there doing stupid crap all day, she wouldn't have married you.
oh, for sure.
Exactly. But you were acting like a husband. You weren't acting like a dude who didn't want a wife. No, you told her, I want you. I want to be a husband. I want to do this, do that. You know what I'm saying? I'll get my life right. Whatever he told. I might be ad-libbing, but you know.
No, but that's the thing. You know, everybody got their own perception. Like we talk about why do men and women live together. We talked about that a couple of weeks. You wasn't there. Why do they live together before they get married? It's just things like that. You know, you can't look. Especially, and we ain't even talk about this, but if you got kids already, like you got kids already, and you talking about living with a man, nah. Before you get married, nah. So much going on in the world, and so many. Everybody got that. You know what I mean? It's so much going on.
But I got one more thing to go back to that real quick, because something I learned recently is that some people think that that's normal. The same thing like I told you about the alcohol. Some people are raised. Some people were raised in families where the woman chased the man, and that's all they saw. So if you grew up in a household where all your mom did was chase men, which happens, there are relationships, there are households like that. If that's what you see for the first 18 years of your life, you think that's normal. No, you think that's normal. So sometimes, once again, you got to take all the stuff into consideration. That the person may act that way because they think that's how I'm supposed to act. I'm supposed to be chasing this man. I'm supposed to be doing anything to get his attention and giving him whatever he wants and not doing this because that's what I saw in my household.
Definitely. Yeah.
Just like you see sometimes, now this can go reverse too, but just like if you see your dad was disrespectful to your mom, and you see that in your household for 18 years, you get out there and guess what? You're disrespectful to your girlfriend because you think that's normal. You think that's how it's supposed. My wife's jumping in. Baby, you want the mic? Here you go.
You just think that that's the way that you're supposed to relate to a woman, but it can go the opposite way as well. If you have a father and a mother that is treated, if the father treats the mother appropriately, like a woman, like a queen as she is, opens the door, makes her plate because she's had a hard day, rubs her feet and things like that, that's what you're going to think that, that's the type of woman that you need to get. That's how a boy is raised. That's how a man is raised.
Well, it's the same way with women too. It's not just not male or female.
Absolutely. For me, I was raised with my father taking care of all the things that need to be.
Yeah, he knows your father subscribed to a show. He knows.
Oh, did he really? Oh my gosh. So my father would take care of the things that needed to be taken care of for my mother, and literally he took care of everything. And so, like, except for he did not cook. Like, cooking he cannot do. And you saw a healthy relationship. That's what you aspire to have. And like when Rodney said he grew up with people that drunk every celebration, I didn't grow up that way. And so when we came together, I was like, what is going on? This is not what I signed up for, because it wasn't what I was accustomed to growing up.
So I guess she made you a better man.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, nah, I would never take that away from my wife. Yes, my wife made me a better boy, not even a man. Yeah, when we met. I was a boy when we met. You know what I'm saying? And I didn't before I met her, I had a 2.0. After I met her, 3.5. You know what I'm saying? That's just and I did turn in a couple of her reports to get through English, but we're not gonna talk about that. But I did even in high school, she made me a better person. She made me want to be better. You know what I'm saying? I knew she was going to college, so I aspired to go to college. You know what I'm saying? I may have drunk my way out of college, but I went. But it's still that whole dynamic of, yeah, my wife definitely made me a better man. She was praying for me a lot. So now she's praying that God would change me back a little bit because
No, that's a no.
I know. I got you. I got you.
but still, I'm still in my transformational stage. You know what I'm saying? I'm still going through it. I'm still learning things every day. I definitely communicate a lot better. So, but and I don't trip off of the stuff that I used to trip off of when I was younger and when I was intoxicated too. So whenever you're intoxicated, you bring that adds a whole nother level where you start reacting to things that aren't even supposed to be reacted to, And that was I thought, I ain't gonna lie, I was a very high functional drug. But I didn't have the stop button. For me, if I drunk one drink, then I'm drinking a half gallon. You know what I'm saying? And that's the same thing I talked to about my brother having addictive personality. That's one of the things that I have struggled with. I'm still dealing with it, but everything goes with the other. The other thing is, if I drink on emotion, then I definitely will be drinking every bottle of everything you got here. You know what I'm saying? Because that was the only way I knew how to cope with emotion when I was a child. So, it's all just bad habits being taught as children. And you think it's normal. It's the same thing on a lot of those topics that we see today and a lot of people are dealing with. That's one of the big things that I've realized now, even as me going back into management. I'm looking at some of these kids, and every time I'm boggled by the mindset of what they're thinking, I just have to take the time to process that they think that is normal. You know what I'm saying? They think that is normal. They think I'm abnormal because all they do is complain and yell and talk about stuff. And I'm walking around. I'm like, okay, are you done? And you're like, yeah. And I'm like, cool. Now, can we finish taking care of the service? And they just be like, yeah. And I'll be like, all right, cool. All right. Now when we're done, we're going to re-talk about this. But, I'm not going to react in the moment. You're not going to get me out of my joy. You're not going to get me out of the place that I am, no matter how bad you act. And it took me a while, but now I'm getting to the point that they don't react that way because they know I'm not going to react. You know what I'm saying? Like they don't sit there and even take the time to argue or whatever the case may be, because they know the end result is we still going to finish whatever we doing. You know what I'm saying? So it takes that out even in management. So I don't know how I got on that tangent. I don't
Yeah,
know where I
man.
started, but anyway.
We glad that you back at what you love to do, man. We know
Oh
you.
no, I don't love to do this.
See, and look, and see, look.
Not at all. Don't even wish that
Look.
on me.
Okay, watch this, man. Watch this. No, I'm gonna tell you what, like I tell my wife. Look, God put you in a place, right? Because He know you will be great at. And what you right now, this is a season for you to be able to work in it and navigate how you dealing with people on a different level, calm temperament. You don't see it that way. And I said, look, if God put you there, right, and God put you there, right, there is things in this season that you have to learn how to do to be better at what you're doing, and it'll be easy for you. You know what I'm saying? That's how it is. Certain things that happen in our lives, God wants you to, He put you in that position so you could be a better person. And there's a lot of people that's going to come up to you for advice, and you're going to put them in the right place. And that's going to be a blessing. And God's going to bless you abundantly because of that. Because now you're learning how to, people going to come in, you make you mad, piss you off, ready to go upside their head, curse them out. But guess what? Now you're in a position to be able to talk to them in a better level. You know what I'm saying? A level mind, a sound heart, peace. That's what I said. I said you definitely in a place, a better place. You know what I'm saying? You definitely in a better place. You know what I mean? A better place, and you elevating. You know what I mean? From you saying you don't drink no more. That's an improvement, and you did it. Not nobody forced you. You did it willingly, and so now going back to somewhere that and look how God got you there. Like the person we talked about this before. God said He'll make your enemies your footstool. The same people that talk bad about you, now they coming for you. They coming to you. They say, "Yo, look, I need you. I need you." And guess what? And now you gonna excel. And like I said, this may not, Rodney. This may not even be lifetime. This just may be a season. So take this season and learn from it. Whatever it is, that guy, and that comes with humbleness. I don't even know the situation. I don't know the circumstance. It comes with that because guess what? When you humble, you see things clearly. You understand it. You understand the thing that you have right then and there. You understand the task. You know what I'm saying? And you know, I'll speak that from experience. I always talk about my job is because no matter what, you know, when I started there, I was 30 years old. I'm 48. I've been here 18 years, and I had to learn how to deal with different people, different ages. They say stuff to me. I had to. It was an ongoing thing. I had to be humble. I think more than I talk about it, it was me being more humble, just allowing people to say certain things and just be like, all right, whatever. Because if I react the way they want me to react, guess what? I wouldn't have a job. I'd be fired. Then I'd be looking for another job. I mean, find another job wouldn't have been hard, but still, who wants to go through that whole beginning process? I got a lot of years of here, seniority, all of that. You know what I'm saying? So now here you are in a new season in your life, man. And all I'm saying, I'm speaking prosperity and nothing but, you know, positivity. And it's a season right now, and that's what you got to do.
No, I accept it, brother. I definitely do. I definitely accept it.
Because I know you now that I know you, I've seen you, I've been around you, I know the energy that you carry. You know what I'm saying? Your personality, your perspective, especially when I met your kids, I already know what time it is. Like when you're a father and you meet another man's kids and family, you already know it's like you a lion. Ain't nothing coming over there to mess with you. Nothing. And people be like, I'm animated, but that's how it is. It's like, yo, you ain't letting nobody come in there and talk and disrespect. So that's the man that you are. And now you about to elevate into another man that God has. He's about to shape and mold you. And see, most people don't even talk like that. That's what you want. God is going to come into your life, shape and mold you to a better version. Your sons already look up to you. Like that's what every man wants. They sons to look up to and say, yo, I got a great father. Your daughter, I got a great father. Now, not only do I have a great father, he's better. Your walk has changed. And because your walk changed, guess what? They're going to be inspired to change. Not saying they not good kids. They good kids, you know, well-mannered, respectful. You know what I'm saying? Your son, your oldest son, yo, did he tell you what I told him?
I don't remember if he did.
Hey, look, I told him, I said, don't ever change. I said, because he was tired, right? But when I heard him speak, I said, yo, he like to be by himself. Like he don't be doing all that moving around. He humble. I said, stay humble always. And he's like, for sure. And that's what I like about him. The oldest one. He in the service, bruh. I'm so proud of him. Like I'm serious. I'm so proud of him because being a black man in the service and carrying himself the way he carrying himself, it's like you can't even have nothing better than that. A father looked like, oh man, they love that. Like my oldest, my son, my baby son. Look, he down in college. Look, he doing great things. The great things. I told him, I said, I love you. I said, I'm proud of you. I want you to keep on excelling. Don't let nothing get in your way. No girl. Okay, you got a girlfriend. Okay, you like her. You say you love her. Don't let that get in the way of your goal. That's it. Because at the end of the day, your goal is for you and for you to make a family. If that's what your desires are, to make a family, but you got a goal. You got an ultimate goal. And the one thing I love about him is that he definitely have a relationship with God. That's key for me. Not saying that if you don't, but it's key because guess what? It helps you. It grounds you. Not only do it ground you, it puts you in a better place because you want to make the best decision in your life. Right. Not just winging it. You're like, you know what? I don't think God would be approved of that. So let me pray about it. See, it gets you. It gives you a different outlook. You know, just saying, you know what? Nah, I'm gonna just go ahead and do it. No consequence comes with it. I'm just gonna do it. I'll make mistakes. Nah, when you got that relationship, it's big.
Nah,
it's big
for sure.
And like I said, man, I take my hat off to you. You're a great father, great man, great black man. You know what I mean? We're gonna do more things together. And listen, I'm so proud of you, bro. Gotta tell you that, man. I'm proud of you for real.
Man. I'm good too. I appreciate you, man. I'm gonna let Miss Esther know she's doing a great job of making you into a better man for all of us.
Oh, hey, I humbly, I say that humbly. She definitely made me but she did. She
did. You know I had to bring that up.
Hey, and I appreciate you said it because guess what? Listen, I ain't gonna lie to you. I was not a giver. I was not. I'm sorry. I'm so serious.
Oh, like, I know. You already said you wouldn't bail me out. I mean, you don't give nothing to nobody.
I was not a giver. Like she opened up my eyes and understanding how it is to be a giver and not expect anything else from the person that you give it. It's a blessing to be able to do that. And definitely when I do give, I don't want nothing in return. I do it because I want to, because I know at the end of the day, God's going to bless me when I least expect it. And I don't look for the blessing to come. You know what I'm saying? I say, God, you put this on my heart to do this. Boom. And like I said, that's one thing I can tell you. And then she stay on my case. She stay, make sure you put this together. I be like, okay. Like, I don't do no work like that. She be like, oh, can you do it for me? Oh, boy. So she, like I said, she keeps me in line. You know, I'm older now, so I don't really want to do all the extra stuff, but she keep me in line, keeps me rooted, and that's what I love about her. I love her relationship with God. That's why I married her. And some people are like, oh, she not beautiful? Yeah, she beautiful, but I didn't marry her for her look.
I know that was okay, man. Now you putting the what is it, the lather on too thick, brother. You know, daggone well. I seen Miss Esther. You gonna tell me you ain't marry her for her looks?
No, I did.
I rebuke. I rebuke the demon of lying right now. Instead of no cap, I'm gonna say no rebuke. That is not the truth.
Oh,
I didn't marry. I didn't marry her because of her looks.
That was my focal point.
Come on, dog. Yeah. But we seen how Miss Esther look. You not looking at her heart.
But put on the mic.
What I'm saying?
Put on the mic. Put on
you
the
know
mic.
What I'm saying? He act like he was saving a rescue dog or something. You know what I'm saying? I loved her because of this. Nah, come on, dog. Nah, we seen your wife stop capping.
Yo,
you married her or you dated her because you was attracted to her because she is attractive.
I didn't say I wasn't attracted to her. I said I didn't marry her for beauty. I married for her heart and her relationship that she had with God. That's what I did. I'm keeping it real with you. I'm keeping the bug with you. That was the most important thing for me. Because guess what? That's real. Like the most important thing was that she had to be a true woman of God, not somebody that go to church and say, "Oh yeah, I'm saved." That's it.
You sound like Mrs. Perry when she was telling her red dress story. You know what I'm saying?
Hey man, you ain't gonna stop. You ain't gonna rob me of my story.
Nah, Mrs.
You ain't gonna rob me of my story.
Yeah, like I told God I wanted a woman in Christ, and God just happened to bless me with a beautiful woman in Christ. That's what he said right there. Come on, man, get out of here.
Hey, yo, you talking about at the dinner table?
Because there's some blessings from God that are easier to take than others. I don't feel like that blessing from God. You was like, Oh, I don't know, God. I don't know if that's really one. Nah, you saw her. You was like, thank you, Jesus. You know what I'm saying? That's how you was. That's how I was. So don't even. I ain't even gonna put a lie out there and say it was because of her Christian beliefs. No, no, no. It was because of that prom dress, sir, and how she looked in it. Pom dress. Sorry.
Oh Lord.
So don't tell me when I know you have a beautiful wife that it wasn't her beauty. That you know, God just you asked for a woman of God, he gave you a woman of God that just happened to be beautiful at the same time.
All right, okay. I surrender. I surrender.
Right, there you go. All right.
I surrender.
Thank you.
All right, man. We coming up on the last bit of the show, but listen, you know, it's always a blessing. It's always great. Listen, guys, if you like the content, please hit the subscribe, the like button, and listen. Not only come here and check out From the Battle to the Glory, but you guys got to go over to my man's Dad Mentality and check him out too. He's on Mondays. Was it 7:30 or 7 o'clock?
Monday, 7 o'clock.
7 o'clock. And check him out. It's Dad_Mentality. Also subscribe to his channel. You got to go over there, check him out, support us. Listen, we all about positivity, and definitely he's over there with positivity because you know he's my boy, my right hand. So listen, check him out. Mondays, you're on Dad_Mentality, and you guys know where I be at. From the battle to the glory. Let's go. We out of here, y'all. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Peace.
Peace.
All right, Ronnie.